watching The American on ESPN. We are in North Texas, Denton to be exact, as we are getting set week 1 of the college football season. The North Texas Mean Green are hosting the Lamar Cardinals. 2 teams out of the state of Texas, some pride on the line, FCS against FBS. And we're set to get things going. We say welcome, Justin Kutcher alongside LaDarren McClain. And LaDarren, these 2 teams are coming off seasons in which you could say they're riding some positive momentum.
Yeah, if you look at the Mean Green, although they did make a bowl appearance, let's not forget, this was the number 3 rated offense in the country a year ago under Coach Morris. Now, they've lost some players, but they gained 68 newcomers. So optimism is certainly high for the Mean Green. And you look at the Lamar Cardinals, they're coming off back-to-back winning seasons since the 60s, and so optimism is certainly high for them. But I want to look at the receiver here, Fusilier, number 1. Coach Rosamondo said he is the pulse of the team. And for this passing game to be effective today, he has got to be the focal point also. And defensively, if you look at Braden Faulkner, you know what? He's the prototypical linebacker, but look for him to get everybody lined up on defense and to make sure that they can get lined up quickly against this fast-paced Mean Green offense.
For the Mean Green, an emphasis this year is going to be running the football. So McGill is going to be one of those guys to focus on.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch this young man, a former walk-on, and he has earned the right to be the lead back in this deep running back room. And I look for him to get off pretty quickly. He's got breakaway speed. He's a natural runner, and he knows the progressions in the schemes, which is a focal point. And defensively, if you look at Trey Fields, the transfer from Sam Houston, started 11-plus games for the Bearcats a year ago. He is going to be all over the field today.
Lamar won the toss. They have deferred. So North Texas, they will receive. Jaden Becks is back deep for the Mean Green. Ben Woodard will kick off for Lamar. Dalton Carnes also back deep, as this one is going to bounce into the end zone, and that will be a touchback as we say hello to the 3rd member of our team, Maria Tribalpiece.
Well, Justin, last year North Texas excelled on the offensive side of the ball, but they struggled defensively. And because of that, head coach Eric Moore hired a new defensive coordinator in Skylar Cassidy. We asked Cassidy, what was it about North Texas that made you want to come to this program? He said it was a couple of things. First of all, he believed in what Eric Morris does as a head coach, but one of the big reasons was that he was allowed to bring his entire defensive staff with him here to Denton. He's hoping that can make an impact. He said in camp, it already has.
It's pretty incredible. He brought the entire staff. He brought half his team as well. On first down, the handoff is to McGill, and McGill gets wrapped up in the backfield for a loss of 6. Royce Malolis, the tackle for the loss.
Man, that's just a fantastic job, Justin, of recognizing, one, that starts in earlier in the week, right? To understand by the formations the Mean Greens are trying to do. You look at that read option look, he didn't get caught looking in the backfield, reads his key and makes the play in the backfield.
So now 2nd and 16, empty backfield for Drew Mestemaker. This guy is one of the incredible stories in all of football. His pass over the middle, that's complete to Miles Coleman. Miles Coleman, his high school and Little League teammate, they combined for 17 to get the first down.
Well, first of all, pass protection is outstanding. The Cardinals come with the blitz, but he recognizes it pretty quickly, gets the ball out on time.
Here he is again with plenty of time. Offensive line. And now on the run, here's Mestemaker. Oh, he just took a big hit as he crossed the 42-yard line, got hit by Malolis. He's going to get 6, but with a guy like Mestemaker, you don't want him to take those hits.
You got to make sure he understands that. And when he gets outside of the pocket, he's thinking one thing: I'm either going to try and score, I may try to truck somebody, but he has to remember this is the next level, right? And he's got a long year, so he needs to learn to protect himself.
That was Jaden Maronin with the tackle. As McGill gets tripped up, he'll pick up 2. 3rd and short coming up.
Yeah, Justin, you can look at the tempo that the Mean Green are trying to establish, and that was one point of emphasis that we talked to Coach Rosamondo. He said, hey, we just got to make sure we line up, right? We got to line up and be ready to go. And sometimes when you play a quick team like North Texas, sometimes you have to stay in your base and just react to what they're doing. And sometimes scheme can help you out, but a lot of times guys just got to make a play.
Speaking of making the play, it's Miles Coleman again. The guy is just 5 feet 6 inches tall. He's not even 160 pounds, but his coaches say he is one of the best football players they've ever coached.
Yeah, that's high praise. It's been some good receivers come through here.
Handoff to Kiefer Sibley. He'll get 2. This is a running back room where, you know, Eric Morris says, I'm comfortable going 5 deep right now.
There's not a lot of teams that can say that, right? If you could go 5 deep with this offensive line, and we'll hit on them enough today, and it's probably the most depth on the O-line, but when you combine that with the running back room like they have, you got a recipe that may resemble 2023, where they were the 18th ranked rushing offense in the nation. And so you can see a lot of that here this evening.
They go empty backfield again as they're at the 48 of Lamar. Mestamaker taking the shot down the field, has a wide open receiver, Wyatt Young, and Wyatt Young is going to be out of bounds around the 5-yard line. A 46-yard completion.
Well, you better bring pressure, but you better make sure you get home. And if you don't, these receivers are too talented. And they're running wide open in the secondary. And that's just an outstanding read by Mestamaker and a beautiful route there by Wyatt Young. This is the explosiveness this offense can do. They line up in power formations. They can empty the backfield. They get you to guess a little bit. And if you guess wrong, you saw right there that play, you're going to pay for it.
It's going to be 1st and goal from the 2. It's kept by Mestamaker, and he's able to walk it in for the touchdown. That didn't take too long for the Mean Green to punch it in.
Oh, I love this. This is an old school power eye and the new school version of it. And it's just an inside read option, and he's reading the in man on the line of scrimmage, and that's Ronnie Hamrick, number 6. And if he bites down on the running back, that's an easy walk in like you saw there by the quarterback. This offense got so many wrinkles, Justin. You have to game plan for just about everything, and here we go.
Going for 2. Interesting thought right there, and it does not work. Trey Williams unable to get in, but a touchdown nonetheless. Mestamaker magic already? Maybe. 6-0. North Texas leading. 6-0 North Texas leading Lamar after a failed 2-point conversion. But a beautiful drive. 8 plays, 75 yards. Took less than 3 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock. Drew Mestamaker able to run it in for the touchdown untouched. It'll be Miguel Arenas to kick off for the Mean Green. Xavier Coleman is back deep. And he should have a chance to return this. He's going to let it bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So now the offense for Lamar comes out. Robert Coleman, the quarterback. This is something, LaDarren, that we don't see in today's college football. He is a 3-year starter for one program at quarterback.
Yeah, I had to read that twice just to make sure it was accurate. But hey, let's not kid ourselves. We talked about Fusilier as the pulse of the team. This is the general, right? He is going to get these guys in the best play possible. I like his ability to certainly throw, but he can break a defense down with his legs, and he's as tough as they come. It's going to be a tough challenge here today, but this offense certainly got the skilled players to do it.
On first down, the handoff to Damian Moore. Moore up the middle, able to push the pile up to the 30, picks up 5. Maria, Robert Coleman, he had options, but he chose to stay here at Lamar. Why?
Well, he said when he came to Lamar, there wasn't a ton of success, but the more that he stayed, the better that the team played, and he wanted to continue that with his guys.
And here, the completion to Ja'Cory Hyder, one of the tight ends, picks up 15 right there. So the offense moving the ball here early.
Yeah, keep your eye in this offense on both tight ends. Devin Gibbs, number 8. You saw Ja'Cory Hyder there. He slips out into the flat, and that's a great call, right? You want to get this defense to chase. You got the play action pass. It's an easy high percentage throw there for Coleman.
Handoff, second time to Damian Moore. This time Moore gets 2. The defensive front for North Texas, very different than what they saw last year. This year, with new defensive coordinator Skylar Cassidy, he's got a couple of guys that he was able to bring over from Sam Houston, but they're able to rotate almost 12 guys on that defensive line.
Yeah, that's incredible, and that pays dividends in the fourth quarter, right? They can still be fresh late in games, and that is the key. And again, it's tough for offenses because now you're having to go back and watch old Sam Houston footage just to get the concepts down.
A pass complete to Isaiah Jones near side, and he's very close. That first down marker is going to be a little bit shy.
Always like to gauge how a quarterback kind of gets himself into a game, and you start him off with a high percentage pass into the flat to the tight end. Now he's settled, right? And the running game is effective enough, and he throws a strike there to the sideline on time. This is where you want to live, right? If you're going to get to third down against the Mean Green and that offense, you want to slow the game down if you can, but you want to convert these third and shorts.
It's 3rd and 1. Handoff, trying to bounce outside is Moore, and he's going to get wrapped up in the backfield. A loss of 2.
And I've been a big fan of Ethan Weslowski for a while. And look at his action here. He's the first guy in the backfield. Here it is. He's kind of stunting, and this is a new wrinkle of the defense. They didn't typically, or historically, I should say, these linebackers play in 2 to 3 yards deep, but now they're up. They're playing kind of that bear, if you will, up around the line of scrimmage, and it makes the numbers very difficult for offensive line to block.
And because they lost yards on that play, now Lamar has brought out the punt unit. Mason Stallings will punt, and Miles Coleman is standing back at his 10-yard line. And Miles Coleman, we've got a flag. This is going to be a delay of game.
Delay of game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
The referee today is Kevin Randall. I look out right now at Miles Coleman, LaDarren, and whether it's the shoelaces or the shoes, we've always said if you're going to have that, you better be good.
You better be fast. I think he's checked both those boxes so far.
Not a good punt right here, as that was a lot like my golf game.
He didn't hit that one very clean, and that's the one thing you don't talk about in games like this. You look, Mr. Myers, Maker's numbers last year. And again, it's field position, right? You want to make this offense have to go the length of the field if you can. And if you give them a short field like they are at their own 35-yard line, boy, it puts a lot of pressure back on your defense for sure.
Just a 25-yard punt. Jaden Becks will be in the backfield here on this series. Mestemaker got the start in the bowl game last year, the First Responders Bowl against Texas State, and he balled out. It was his first start since his freshman year in high school on the JV B team. And here he is trying to dump it out to his running back, and he just put it too far out in front of him with too much zip. Incomplete pass. Think about that, though. I mean, this is an incredible story. Drew Mestemaker, he wasn't on anybody's radar. And as a matter of fact, Patrick Mahomes' coach called up Eric Morris and said, hey, you got to look at this guy. So Eric Morris said, can you send me some tape? He goes, I don't have any tape. There is no tape. He goes, no tape? What do you mean no tape? So he came up and threw in the indoor for them. They said, yep, we got room for him. And here he is on a line throwing that one. Complete to Cameron Dorner. 24 yards. You see him make throws like that, you say there's room for him on our team.
Yeah, that's not an easy throw. You feel that pressure too. You know you got to get it out, but the anticipation is off the charts.
Again, another good one. This one to Baron Tipton. And you could just see the arm strength. The fact that he's able to throw across the field with that much zip, it's impressive.
Yeah, and this is one of these things where he's a traditional pocket passer, right? He stands tall in the pocket, but he's athletic enough that if you get to him and he doesn't like what he sees, he can break off and run. And so, yeah, this kid is certainly gifted.
Becks unable to get to the outside. He'll lose 3 yards. A good tackle by Ronnie Hamrick, second leading tackler from last year's team. We do have a flag down as we've got a player without a helmet on, and that's Johnny Dixon III.
Yeah, 2 questions on that. Johnny Dixon was probably 20 yards downfield. Second question, with no hat. So we got to figure out what's going on right now with the big fella.
So you're saying he could have been ineligible?
I'm telling you. Hey, but the good thing about it is, for the Mean Green, he looks like he can actually stay on the field. And that might explain the penalty maybe going the other way for the Cardinals.
After the play was over, personal foul, face mask, defense, number 35. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. It'll be first down.
It's
the
against...
offensive player may remain in the game because his helmet came off due to a foul. First down.
That foul was against C.J. Miller.
Oh, we got to get live action here. Here we go.
Yikes. First and 10 now from the 14 here for the Mean Green. And Lamar's got to be careful because you could have 2 quick strikes by North Texas, and before you know it, you're in a big hole. Mestemaker. Once again, nice little drop off for 4 yards. And that was to Trey Williams.
Yeah, you got to love the way they do the misdirection. And I know it's Coach Morris's offense. Jordan Davis, the offensive coordinator, mixing it up early.
And off to Becks. Not much room for him.
And sorry, Justin, if there was one little thing that they wanted to improve on in this Mean Green offense from a year ago, is the red zone scores, right? They were 75%. That was 10th in the American Conference a year ago. So they want to be as efficient as they possibly can, certainly with touchdowns, but they do want to get as, field goals if they can also.
Mestemaker completes the pass. He's got the first down. The pass is caught by Cameron Dorner. It'll be first and goal for the 1.
Yeah, nice job here by Mestemaker.
Hand off Sibley. Second effort. Does he get pushed in? There's no signal yet. And they're going to say he's short. Second and goal coming up.
Here it is. Now you're just trying to get leverage as an offensive line, get the pads, and And as good as they want to be from sideline to sideline, spreading defenses out, this is where they're going to earn their money, right? You're going to lean on this big offensive line and a veteran group coming back. You're going to ride the shoulders of these big fellas up front.
Short of the goal line, the previous play is under further review.
The replay official is Jeff Roberson. And so they're going to take a look to see if that ball ever crossed the goal line.
Kind of tough to tell from our angle, huh? We're kind of.
This is one of those where it's just so difficult unless you have exactly the camera on the goal line and you're able to get a clear shot. How do you rule that it is in fact over? Like right here, it doesn't look like he made it.
Yeah, I think they spotted it pretty good.
Spot on.
Yeah, I think they spotted it where they have it now. It's definitely inside the one. Yeah, there's that angle you can't really tell, but I don't see anything definitive saying, yeah, he got in.
And then if you see number 14, Andrew Huff, as he's going, he's trying to punch the ball free because they haven't blown the whistle, so they haven't blown the play dead. And he's trying to see if he could force a fumble, which is a really smart play.
Yeah, absolutely. Those defensive players always trying to get that edge, right? This is a defense that, again, they didn't have a ton of experience coming back and trying to get every little advantage that you can.
I'm going to say the call is upheld.
The field is upheld. Second down.
Good call, Justin.
The new terminology.
Mid-season
I was just really trying to test to see if I got the new terminology down. But this is something, when you look at this North Texas team going forward, last year they had 10 different offensive lineups in 13 games. And they feel like that could be an area of strength. So this is one of those where you want to run this ball in and prove that you're doing something different. McGill now in the backfield, and McGill takes it, and this time he is in for the touchdown. They went with the same formation that they scored on the previous drive, but this time it was the handoff.
Credit this offensive line. Watch number 70. Well, you probably won't be able to see it from here, but Tay Yanta, the center, he does a great job of turning his shoulder right there to create that little bit of a void. And then Gabe Blair, I think arguably is one of their better, if not the best offensive lineman, number 65, just took care of business, and Mackenzie McGill gets in the end zone.
Kali Nguma on for the extra points. And a good start here for North Texas. 2 touchdown runs, one by Mackenzie McGill, one by Drew Messmaker, and they lead 13-0. Get all of ESPN college football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. So many games to watch on this week 1 of college football. Miguel Arenas will kick off once again for North Texas with Xavier Coleman back deep to receive. And this will sail in and through the end zone. Another touchback. 5:46 to go here in this opening quarter. You get the sense, I know it's early, but it's FCS against FBS. LaDarren, that Lamar needs a sustained drive right now just to kind of give the defense a break.
You know, and I think they were on the right track that first drive. They just didn't convert the third short. Then you had a penalty that put them out, and they had to punt it away. So I think they were on the right track of doing the right things. You have to get this defense to chase as much as you possibly can, and that's going to be the chess match today because it is a new scheme that you're seeing, and you've got to try to block the guy out in front of you as well.
Major Bowden in, and he picks up 2. Major Bowden, he's a running back, 5'9", 185, but he is a speedster. If he gets that second level, he could take it to the house.
Yeah, and they're going to need that in this offense. And you got to remember, Bowden was a second-team All-Southland Conference kick returner in 22, so it's good to have him back, good to have him healthy, ready to go. And if there is a home run hitter in this offense, it is number 2 in the backfield.
On 2nd and 8, they're going for a trick play. Jones trying to pass. He's got nobody open, and he steps out of bounds. He's going to lose yards here. He's going to lose 3. Isaiah Jones, they're going to officially mark him back 4 yards. Ethan Wazlowski again with the tackle.
Yeah, you got to make this decision a little bit quicker. I know he's not a quarterback, but if it's not there initially like you practice all week, you throw that thing to the sideline.
Yeah.
You know, you can't give up critical yardage in a game like this because the last thing you want to do against an unknown really on defense is get in these third and long situations where it puts pressure on this offensive line to protect, and Coleman may not have enough time for these routes to develop downfield.
3rd and 12. Coleman forced out of the pocket, being chased from behind. He goes down. That should be a sack. It is a sack. Ethan Day.
Well, I really like the motor of Ethan Day. Number 90 here, 6'4", 250-pound sophomore defensive end. And this is a great disguise. They look like they may bring pressure, but they drop 7 into coverage. And so now the quarterback's a little bit spooked. And his first instinct is to try to get outside to buy him some time. But by then, it is too late. And Ethan Day is on his horse to get that sack.
Stallings on to punts. Just gets this one off. Nice play by Miles Coleman to field that one on the hop. And he's able to return it to the 45. A 44-yard punt, 8-yard return. 3:54 to play here in the opening quarter. North Texas, they've scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives. Their 3rd drive coming up.
back here in Denton, Texas, where North Texas leads Lamar 13-0. Now, two guys on the offensive side of the ball for the Mean Green we've mentioned a lot in this game are Drew Mestemaker and Miles Coleman. We've seen them have great connection tonight, but it's because they've been playing with each other for a long time. They both went to the same high school, and in addition to that, they played Little League Baseball together, so they'll know each other very well.
They've already connected tonight a couple of times, and they do it again. Here is Coleman on cue. And that dude just does have some great hands. You just saw it there. And Darren, I'll go back to the punt. To field that punt like he did, that's dangerous. Obviously, he's got extreme confidence.
You know, I think you appreciate this. Coach Parcells used to say years ago the hidden yardage in a game, and that is a huge deal. Whether it's 1 or 2 yards here or there, that makes a huge difference for your offense.
Handoff to McGill, and McGill, you can see his strength trying to get around, but cannot. He's going to lose a couple yards.
Yeah, great play there by Jackson Bandy, and sometimes the defense just has to beat the guy in front, and that's a lot of what Lamar does there. You know, this offense, Justin, is predicated on creating angles and creating a number advantage in the outside and getting their skilled players in space. But sometimes you just got to whoop the guy in front of you. And that's what they're going to have to get back to. You can scheme it up good as you want, but if you don't beat the guy in front, you're going to be in trouble.
3rd and 4. Mestemaker back to pass. Forced out of the pocket. Trying to run for it. He's going to be shy of the first down. I would not be surprised if they keep the offense on the field here and go for it on 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a year ago, North Texas was one of the more aggressive offenses in the nation going for it on 4th down. So this is going to be old hat for Coach Morris and his staff and his team.
McGill in the backfield. They've got Trey Williams, the tight end. They need 2. Mestemaker to pass, and he passes to Williams, who makes a cut, and he's got the first down. Trey Williams, a Swiss Army knife for this Mean Green offense, just showed what he can do with his feet.
Yeah, that's a great job by Williams to, one, catch the pass, but recognize that he had to get upfield quickly. Ball comes out on time. Got to make at least one guy miss. And if you can do that, you get a nice block there by Simeon Evans, and you pick up that first down. A preseason 3rd-team All-American Conference player right there in Trey Williams.
Mestemaker over the middle. It's dropped by Simeon Evans. It was a bit high, but I promise if you ask Evans, he'll say, I should have had that.
Yeah, you got to get that one. That's the
too.
one. Wide open. I mean, these guys are running free in the secondary, and it's schemed up beautifully. You know, the pass protection is there. The time certainly to scan the field, let the routes to develop, but I don't think you'll see Simeon Evans drop too many of them this season.
2nd and 10, showing blitz. Mestemaker down the sideline, and we've got a flag thrown as he was going back to Evans, and it looks like this is going to be pass interference.
Gotta love that by Mestemaker, right? Go back to your guy. Go back to him.
Defense, number 8. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's against DeMarcus Rankin. DeMarcus Rankin, Paul Amodia. Those are 2 cornerbacks that Pete Rosamondo went out and got because he said we need more height, we need more length at the corner position. And he said we'll find out if we hit on it or not.
That's a good start, right? You're going to play. If you're going to play against FBS caliber receivers, these guys are big and fast, and so match them up as well on the outside defensively.
Mestemaker to the corner of the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Terrence Lewis, the true freshman who's already added between 12 and 15 pounds since stepping on campus. I guess the food plan's good.
And he can flat out blaze too. And you can see they're running a nice corner route. Those inside receivers for the Mean Green offense historically are just game breakers, right? You got to have a little bit of juice in that inside, and certainly Lewis is no short of that, even being a freshman.
Dorner in motion. They swing it out to him. He's got a blocker. And that might be a hold. It might be coming back, as it looked like Terrence Lewis got too much of the jersey.
Yeah, always tough when you're that receiver. Back in my day, Just, we used to call it chicken fighting. Those receivers out there chicken fighting with the defensive back, but you got your back turned.
Number 18, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay second down.
Is that a reference to what you would do in the pool?
Yes, right. Yeah, because you're just out there. You can't grab.
Yeah.
You can't really cut. You're just out there chicken fighting and watch him here. He loses track of where the ball is, and his instinct is to make sure he gets a block, but you hold at the same time. And it's a young player. He's going to get better. Go back and watch that on film and get in position a little bit better, longer, and he can avoid that hold.
Now 2nd and 14 after the penalty. Mestamaker on the run. And that one is incomplete. Nicely defended. Broken up by Christian Pugh.
Great job here by the defensive coordinator to mix it up. Yes, they're bringing pressure, but when you bring pressure and how you're bringing pressure is going to be effective. And at that time, you get Mestamaker going to his left side for a right-handed quarterback. That's always difficult. And then you flush him out, and the coverage was on point in the back end. That's how you have to play the mean green. Get them off timing.
Sibley motions back into the backfield here on 3rd and 14. Over the middle, pass is caught by Coleman, and Coleman's got the first down. You have a feeling it's the first game of the season, but these two guys connected really well in the bowl game last year. They have something.
Yeah, you see him just waiting and waiting. Look at him here. The time is there. Pass checks are there. He knows this guy's going to be in the middle of the field. But what's even more impressive is that move right there by Coleman. As soon as he catches it, he takes that little sidestep to make sure he gets the extra yards to get the first down.
1st and 10 now from the 11. 10 seconds to go here in the quarter. They will run a play. Mestamaker, the pass is caught by Cameron Dorner, tackled right away, and that will be the final play of the opening quarter. An impressive showing offensively in this first quarter by Drew Mestamaker and the Mean Green. They lead Lamar 13-0 after 1. back here at DATQ Stadium on the campus of the University of North Texas. 13-0. The Mean Green leading. Drew Mestemaker beat out Reese Poffenbarger for that starting position this year at quarterback, and he's been impressive so far. Here, the handoff to Mackenzie McGill, and McGill up to the 5-yard line.
Justin, you talked about Trey Williams being a Swiss Army knife. He was lined up as an H-back.
Yes.
Right there, and he's leading the ball carrier through the hole. That's incredible.
Now the toss quickly to Miles Coleman, and Coleman tried to split a couple defenders. He's going to be tackled just shy of that first down marker.
You just have to defend every blade of grass against this Mean Green offense. There's no play in the playbook not available. And it doesn't matter if the field shrinks. It doesn't matter if they're on their own goal line. They're going to call what they think is the best play to move the ball across the line of scrimmage. And that's the beauty of it. And Coach Morris has always done that, where everywhere he's been, you make defenses stretch.
Well, they just went jumbo package. They brought Ethan Day, a defensive end, in. He's on the offensive line playing like a tight end. Mestemaker lofting it to the end zone. That ball incomplete. Unable to hang on was Trey Williams as he took a big hit.
What a great play. Paul Amodia. Watch number 0 here flash. This is a gimme touchdown and what it looked, but watch 0 flash right there. That is just playing to the whistle to knock that thing away. Fantastic play. You figured they could not afford to give up a touchdown. 3 points, you're all right. But at the same time, man, that is a fantastic play.
Huge play for Lamar right there. You get the stop on 4th down. You avoid giving up the touchdown. Now you take over deep in your own territory. Backed up. See what you can do. You mentioned Bill Parcells before. Pete Rosamondo, the head coach, grew up big Giants fan. Bill Parcells was his guy. He had to have liked that play. On 1st down, the handoff up the middle with Damian Moore just trying to create some room. He does that with 5 yards.
Yeah, that's all you're trying to do is just worst case scenario. If you do have to punt, make sure your punter's not standing on the back of the end zone with his heels. But that's a good gain on 1st down, no matter if you're in midfield or not. And now this offense can cook a little bit because they have somewhat of an advantage, and this defense can't really tee off on 1 or 2 things. They have to expect run or pass here.
2nd down and 5. To the sideline, the pass to Jaden Boyd is complete, and he'll get the 1st down. So job 1 complete there by Robert Coleman and the Lamar offense. Get that first down.
Yeah, and I think offensive coordinator Ryan McCarthy doing a nice job mixing it up right now. And what he's having to work with, the field position hasn't been ideal, especially in this situation here, but he's given his quarterback a chance to be successful. And it all starts on 1st down. They're able to gash him a little bit on 1st down, and that opens up the playbook for the offense as well.
Shovel pass to Fusilier. First time we've called his name in this game. Kendon Fusilier, the senior. This guy, he is the pulse of the team. The former walk-on, and that does count as a pass right there. So as a quarterback, I know you love those.
I love it. Completions.
Yeah.
And not to the other team. And, you know, Fusilier, 31 receptions a year ago, only 2 touchdowns. He only has 2 career 100-yard receiving games, but I think they got to find him a way to get involved in the offense. That's one way there. But I think you got to move him across the formation. This defense certainly looking out and keying on him in the passing game.
Movement on the line.
False start. Offense. Number 58. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That'll be called against the center, Eli Ripley.
Yeah, high hopes there from Eli Ripley, a transfer from Iowa Western. Actually had to look that up, Justin. I'm sorry. Iowa Western, yes.
Okay, so if you looked it up, where is it?
Well,
Your answer is Western Iowa.
Yeah, I had to make sure it was, legit. But they've got a high upside for him. He's a 2-year starter, so anytime you can get that anchor in the center there going, you got to like your chances.
Timeout taken here by Lamar. 2nd and 11 coming up, their first timeout of the half.
We're back here in Denton, Texas, where North Texas still has a 13-0 lead over Lamar. Now, the Cardinals' offensive line has their work cut out for them tonight, but their work started before they even got to the stadium. While they were driving to the game, a riser fell over in the middle of the highway. So Coach Rossamondo ordered the O-line to get off the bus and help pick up that riser to clear the road for other cars to get through.
That is truly remarkable.
Wow.
This pass complete to Major Bowden, who gets 1 yard. But if the O-line is tired, we know why.
You know why? Yeah, that takes pregame warm-up to another level. My goodness, fellas.
Coach Rossamondo said we treat the O-line like kings because they are. I don't know about a king having to move a lift on the road, though.
It's the selfless acts of service, Justin. That's all it is.
3rd and 10. Coleman looking over to the sideline.
Yeah, he's trying to find the best matchup. Too high safety look.
That's a false start. Early movement.
The way of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
You could have picked your poison because the left tackle also moved inwards.
Man, you got to be careful here, right? 3rd and 15. Yes, you got a little room out of your own end zone here, but you got to be smart about the play. Do you feel like your offensive line can protect long enough for these routes to get to the 25-yard line or more? Or do you just cut your losses here, hand this thing off, create a little bit more space, and play the field position game?
They do hand off to Bowden. Oh, nearly broke it. He'll get 6 to give the punter Mason Stallings some more room. But he was inches away from breaking it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he built up his speed, and it was almost like a shoestring tackle. If he got to the next level, it might have been trouble.
Right now, Lamar needs a good punt out of Mason Stallings. Miles Coleman, we know he's dangerous.
Yeah, that's the gift and the curse. You want to hit a good one, but you don't want to hit it too good to
Pressure's
kick
coming.
Coverage.
And that one got deflected. This is going to roll all the way as Lamar's trying to wave it. It's down to the 46. A 38-yard punt, but there was definitely a deflection. It looked like it was Wyatt Young came untouched.
Oh, excellent job there by Wyatt Young. You don't go at the punter's foot. You go 2 yards in front of where the ball's going to be. And you try to time it, and he timed it perfectly. Didn't get the full block, but certainly deflected. That's one thing that's improved over the years. The Bowling Green special teams is underrated, I think. I think that's one of the things that makes them very difficult to scheme against, is that they create nice opportunities in the special teams.
On first down, Becks takes the handoff. And Jaden Becks up to the 48 of Lamar. North Texas going fast. Mestamaker again finds an open receiver, Tipton, but Tipton got lit up once again. Paul Omodia. That's the second time he's knocked a ball loose. One time in the end zone, and now this.
And look at the technique. Watch it go right at the ball. Didn't go for the 8 and a 0. He went for the pigskin. That's textbook. That's great coaching there. Great execution there by Omodia.
Transfer out of Illinois State. Early results. They hit on him. 3rd and 4. Pressure coming. Mestamaker over the middle. Wide open is Simeon Evans. And Evans escapes a couple of tackles. Stays on his feet inside the 20. Down to the 18. A 40-yard completion.
Yeah, they try to play cover 2, but if you play cover 2, your front guys got to get home. And if you don't, these receivers have time to get in behind the defense and the linebackers in particularly. And Simeon Evans, boy, I'm telling you what, he's got some shake and bake after the catch. Makes a nice run after the catch there.
That went for 30. Another red zone opportunity here for North Texas. Mestamaker. He looks impressive so far. Everything he was billed to be. Quarterback draw. Remember, he ran the ball early in this game, took a hit. That's the first time we've seen him run since.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the coach has gotten his ear and say, hey, you got to get down.
Yes.
We got 5 guys that can run, and if we do call a play, get what you can get, lean on that offensive line, and go down. And that's exactly what he does on that play. Picks up 5 yards.
Young in motion. Handoff to Becks. Trying to get outside. He does. Becks still moves those feet and gets inside the 5. He picks up 10 hard yards. Jaden Becks.
That nice play here. This turns into a foot race between Becks and Hamrick, and Hamrick can't get there. And if Hamrick can't get there, now you have nobody with outside contain. All these skilled players will make you try to miss, and they can make you miss once they get to the next level of the defense.
1st and goal now from the 3. Becks. And he gets thrown down this time. Ronnie Hamrick. He could catch him in that space.
Yeah, Hamrick won that time. Stayed at home. Kept outside leverage, turned the ball carrier back inside. And again, I think this defense is going to be good for the Cardinals. I really do. I think what they have up front, the next level of their defense, and these secondary guys, obviously Omodia, can come up and pop you. It's just they're facing an offense that is one of the better skilled offenses in the country, and it probably will be a top 10 offense once again this year.
On 2nd and goal, Mestemaker back of the end zone, touchdown Wyatt Young.
And this is what I'm talking about. The coverage is there, but you can't beat that pass and that throw. And I've said it for years. A perfect pass is going to be perfect coverage every single time, and that's exactly what happens there. You know, Wyatt Young is a nice receiver that can drag across the formation. You have to chase him. And Mestemaker, man, I'm telling you, this guy is surgical. He's lethal. Going to be a problem in American this year.
Kali and Guma, the extra point. Folks, remember that name, Drew Mestemaker. The American on ESPN Plus is home to 40-plus college football games, over 1,000 exclusive live events, and every American Conference championship throughout the season. For more information and to sign up, visit stream.espn.com. 20-0. North Texas over Lamar. Justin Cutchell, Darren McClain, and Maria Tribal Piece here. And it's going to be Miguel Arenas to kick off and Xavier Coleman back for Lamar. And no chance to return this. Another touchback. I know we're going to see Robert Coleman coming out, and we'll see him coming out after this with 6:35 to go here in the first half. 6:35 to go here in the first half. North Texas all over Lamar, 20-0. Lamar's offense, they had things going on their first drive of the game, but then on 3rd and short, the play went backwards, and since then it's been going backwards. Pressure coming, the blitz picked up, and the pass over the middle is complete to Jaden Boyd. Great blitz pickup right there as Ethan Wisłowski was coming off the edge.
Yeah, that's a great job there by Coleman to extend the play, create some space, give him a lane, throw it down, let your guy make a play.
Now the handoff to Damian Moore. He'll get 1 yard, 3rd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, just no movement on that right side of the offensive line. We got John Hester, number 60 on that side is there. Got Alex Harrelson, 51. Just didn't get the push, and that's where you got to really be tough. You got to root those defensive linemen out of there, especially in these short yardage situations.
On 3rd and 1. Handoff once again, and this time it is enough for the first down with Damian Moore.
Yeah, nice patient run there by Damian Moore. You know, the tendency, Justin, for these running backs is to go 100 miles an hour up in that line of scrimmage, but sometimes you got to hesitate, let those blocks develop, even on a short yardage play, to get the 1 yard that you need, and he did it there.
It's so funny you say that, because every time on a short yardage play you see that running back kind of like hesitate,
yeah,
I get worried.
Yeah,
but that was the right play that he just did.
He just let it develop. And a lot of times, even on quarterback sneaks, you may see that tonight, maybe on a quarterback sneak, you have to hesitate, just to hesitate a little bit.
They want to reset the play clock, not raise the roof.
You know, I'd like to see this offense maybe get a little bit more aggressive, take the shot. Now you've got a first down. You're going to get this defense where they're thinking run. You've got the matchup you want with a single high safety attacked on the perimeter here vertically.
It's a handoff instead to Damian Moore. They had one of the tight ends, Devin Gibbs, in motion, and we've seen that a lot so far from Pete Rosamondo. Is he actually puts the tight ends in motion a fair amount.
And I love that. That's old school too, by the way. You know, you get those tight ends in motion because when you have athletic tight ends, they're receivers.
Yes.
But you have them to come in if the quarterback checks a different play. Now you've got an extra blocker in the box a lot of times. And again, it goes back to the quarterback making the right call, getting the team set up in the right formation.
On 2nd and 7. Pressure coming again. Robert Coleman overthrows Major Bowden. Not sure if they're trying to set up a screen right there, but they did have some blockers for him.
Yeah, you called it. It was a screen. It was a screen to the running back. And this is what you want. You want this defense to blitz. You got to bait them, but you've got to make sure you get that pass to where your guy can get it. And look at the wall here. There's nothing but white jerseys, big guys out in front. And if he can catch that with his speed, that could be one of the bigger plays of the game.
With his speed and his size, I can say this, he could hide behind those players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trust me, I know.
You speak from experience.
3rd and 7. That pass incomplete, looking for Fusilier.
What they're doing, and it's frustrating as a coach because they're doing some of the right things. Now you got to complete the play. Protection is good. Route is good. Coleman reads the defense well, but it's that last little piece of execution, get the ball down to let your guy make a play. And that's why I think this team is going to be good in the Southland Conference, because they're doing a lot of good things in this game, being down 20-0. But again, you got to finish it. And a team like North Texas will make you pay if you don't capitalize.
Stallings on to punt once again. Miles Coleman at his 21. Fair catch signaled and made. Man, he's got some great hands. I mean, it is just, it's fun to watch. You know, Odell Beckham Jr. didn't return punts a lot, but when he did, he would actually catch the ball as if he were catching a pass. Not a cradle, not a basket catch. And just the hands that Miles Coleman has.
Well, then not only that, but you got guys coming down to really kind of, they don't want you to fair catch. And if you don't, oh, guess what? You're going to get knocked out. Let's just say that. And so, yeah, it takes some courage to do that.
Caleb Hawkins, number 24, the fourth running back. He's now in for the first time to the right of Drew Mestemaker. Pressure coming. They set up the screen. And it is to Hawkins.
Yeah, you can see the execution there. That's the difference between Lamar right now and the Mean Green when they want to do their screen. And again, you're inviting pressure on those screens. And yeah, you get Faulkner, he gets a hit on the quarterback, but the ball's gone and damage is done already.
On 2nd and 1, playbook is open. The pass to the far side. Cameron Dorner makes a man miss. He's got the first down. Picks up 12. We have seen some of these receivers for North Texas make some moves along the sidelines.
Yeah, and it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. You don't make that tackle there, you're in trouble.
Shot to the end zone, deep ball. Flag is thrown. Incomplete. Wyatt Young made the great effort, but this is going to be pass interference. And how about the arm right there of Mestemaker?
Is that 60 yards?
Yes.
Did he just clean that 60 yards down the field? Like, on the money, though. That's the other thing. It was effortless to get the ball downfield, but the ball was on time. Here it is. Oh, that's a tough catch by Wyatt Young, and I know he wants to probably make that
Personal
one.
foul, face mask, defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty, first down. Correction, it was number 1. First down.
You know, you said he would have loved to have made that catch. He had a face mask against him, and he still almost made the catch. So that's how good the ball was that Mestemaker threw. Shovel out to Hawkins. And Hawkins will get 1.
Yeah, nice job there by the defense. I really like the effort, man. You got to commend Coach Rossimondo and his kids and his staff. They are playing hard. They really are. And this defense is running to the football. And again, once they figure out what they're doing offensively, this defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's the guessing game. It's the misdirection. It's the different personnel coming into the game. The different looks the Mean Green offense does. This defense never really can get comfortable and get settled.
Wyatt Young, a late entry onto the field. Mestemaker, high throw, brought in by Young. And another first down as he spins down to the 25, gets 14.
Yeah, Mestemaker just seeing the field clean here. No really traffic in his face. These receivers are dragging across the defense, whether it's man or zone.
Would you believe, as we get to the 2-minute timeout, that Wyatt Young prior to last year had never played wide receiver? That dude's a natural.
That's incredible.
Back here on the campus of the University of North Texas. 2 minutes to go here in this first half. 20-0. North Texas on top of Lamar. Story so far tonight has been Drew Mestemaker. All the praises that the coaching staff were saying about him, they may have been underselling him.
I'm right there with you.
Again, just stepping up, throwing over the middle to the end zone. Touchdown, Cameron Dorner, 25 yards. Darren, I said it to you before off the air. I'm going to say it right now. The way he moves in the pocket, sets his feet in quick release, this is going to sound blasphemous. It reminds me of Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, you can't help it. I mean, and it's okay if he reminds you of a great legendary player. The mechanics are similar. And the delivery point and the way the ball is being placed and the way he can throw off platform, yeah. I mean, absolutely. And it's an incredible thing to watch that this kid, again, hadn't really played enough football, and he absorbs the game so quickly. And it looks like he's been in this offense 4 years already.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fun to watch, man. Here it is. Watch it here. Watch his feet. Just sits there, looks one way, never really comfortable. Oh, I see it. Let me get rid of it, and it's on time. I mean, that's playing quarterback at a very high level. This young man's going to have a fantastic year this year.
Again, last year, when he started the bowl game, it was the first time he started a game at quarterback since the JVB team in 9th grade. Nobody, JVB team. Nobody thought highly enough of him. And if it weren't for Patrick Mahomes, his personal coach, who knows what the deal would be for Drew Mestemaker. Instead, he makes that drive from Austin to Denton, and he goes to throw indoors, and they're all like, what? He's got no off. He's got nothing.
We got a spot for him.
Yeah, we can make room.
Yeah.
And by the way, Eric Morris has coached some phenomenal quarterbacks in his day, one of them being Patrick Mahomes. This is going to go out of bounds, and so it'll be starting field position at the 35 for Lamar.
Kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Lamar.
27-0. I mean, again, just to kind of stick with this quarterback theme for Eric Morris, Patrick Mahomes, Cam Ward, #1 pick this past year. He's had Baker Mayfield for a year.
Case Keenum. Yeah.
Played a long time in the NFL. And Eric Morris said yesterday, this kid's going to play on Sunday.
I mean, I'm telling you, that's some high praise. And if
with one start.
And if Coach Morris is seeing now, he sees him every day. Now, he's got the inside track. Obviously, you get the feel of your player. That's some big-time praise, man. And coaches don't throw that kind of stuff out lightly. So you got to take Coach Morris.
Now this one's picked off on the first pass. Trey Fields. The man we highlighted at the top of the show. A 24-yard interception return. The transfer from Sam Houston.
Well, you don't make 11-plus starts a year ago and not have that instinct and the ability right there with the one-handed grab. I mean, it's almost like an offensive player playing defense. He's so gifted. Not only is he a great run stuffer, but, man, he kills the passing lane of a quarterback. I don't think Coleman saw him at all. That's one thing this defense a year ago, they need to get better at takeaways as a team. They were a -6 in the turnover margin a year ago. I would say right there, they're having a good start here tonight.
Great starting field position at the 17-yard line. 146, Mestemaker. Look at that long throw all the way across the field. And Tipton, he tried to get more positive yards. Instead, he's going to lose 3 yards.
Now, that's another player I'm excited to watch, too. Tipton, redshirt freshman, 6'5". He was originally listed at 201, but the coach said, no, he's 6'5", 210. And so, yeah, that kid's got a lot of upside. Great intangibles for sure.
Flags.
Mean Green have played a pretty clean game. I hate saying that, Justin, because a lot of times it turns into a flag barrage here in the last minute, 15, 16 seconds, but they have played a clean game.
Illegal snap, offense number 70. That's a 5-yard penalty. It'll be second down. That foul qualifies for a 10-second runoff. North Texas has elected to use their first charge timeout of the half to avoid the 10-second runoff. Timeout North Texas. It'll be 30 seconds.
I was just about to say North Texas has their full allotment of timeouts, so why not use one right there with just 1:16?
And you got to feel here with second down and 18, that is nothing to this offense and what we've seen. They have been able to get plays in chunks, and you know that's one thing that they did a year ago. They led the entire FBS with 70+ yard plays.
By the way, total yards in this game, 285 for North Texas, 54 for Lamar.
Man, that is some. Yeah, that's strong. An offense a year ago that averaged 488 yards per game. Total offense, we mentioned it was number 3 in the country a year ago. I think they're going to be flirting with that a lot this season.
Mestamaker. He was going for the end zone. His intended receiver, Simeon Evans, looked like he was broken off on the route.
Yeah, that's one of those sight adjustment type routes between the quarterback and the receiver. The receiver may have saw something else. And Mestamaker said, no, you can run by here. Let me throw it on a fade. And they were just not on the same page on that one. Credit to the defensive back there making a great play, kind of causing a little bit of confusion outside.
Now 3rd and 18. Mestamaker moving around. He's got some green. Mestamaker is running for the sideline. He's going to get 15. He needed 18. With 1:02 to go, leading 27-0. It looks like the field goal unit's going to come on.
Hey, you got to give those guys some work too now. Yeah, you can't go for it on every 4th down, although, you know, again, we talked about they were 11th in the nation going for it on 4th down attempts. They were 36 in 2023 and led the country last year with 44 4th down attempts.
This will be a 28-yard attempt for Nguma. No problem. So the interception leads to some points for North Texas. Also, going back to that last run by Mestamaker, he got out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Yeah.
It was one hit, and he learned his lesson.
You learn your lesson real quick. Yeah, you don't want to keep playing with that. Playing what it's saying. Don't play too close to the sun. You get burned. Yeah, you don't want to play too close around those defensive backs and DBs and linebackers because they will pop you. You got to play the long game. That's what I learned too. Play a quarterback. You got to play the long game. It might not necessarily be this play you sacrifice, but it could be something down the road. So save yourself. Let these other guys take those hits.
Damian McDowell is now back. McDowell takes this at the 4. And he'll return it across the 20.
Well, if you're this Lamar offense, you got to keep plugging away at this thing, Justin. You got to try to find something positive here to take into the halftime locker room, and you got to try to get in your 2-minute offense, get something on the board. I think that's the key. I don't think anything else changes in terms of what their goals are. You got to try to pick up first downs, move the chains. But if I had any kind of advice to them, finish the play, because they are there. They're doing the things up to a point perfectly, but then they're just not finishing the play.
They will receive the ball to start the third quarter.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's something that will drive Pete Rossimondo crazy.
Boy, yeah, that is a no-no, especially after a kick return. You've got the offense huddled on the sideline. You know, you just run onto the line of scrimmage and go.
Good pass protection. Flag is thrown in the area of holding as Robert Coleman runs out of bounds.
Boy, if he could have just held out just a little bit longer, Jaden Gerard was dragging across the backside of the field.
Holding, offense, number 74, half the distance to the goal, replay first down.
But it might not have mattered right there. You had Knox Boyd holding there, and you know that's the little things in the game, right? The timing of a pass play, the quarterback's got to see it first and foremost. That offensive line's got to do their job, and it just takes reps. And sometimes you go up against a team that's pretty good, and Mean Green looked to be pretty good defensively as well. Makes it a challenge.
1st and 20 at this point. Do you just try to run into the locker room for halftime? It's the handoff to Bowden. And now both teams have 2 timeouts remaining, so North Texas will use one of those timeouts to try to see if they can maybe force a punt.
Yeah, Coach Morris is going to coach this thing to triple zeros in this first half, and I think that's the right thing to do. You want to keep that edge, especially for your team. Yeah, we may be up 30, but the mission still stays the same. We still going to do what we do. Our game plan is going to go out here and execute as if it was 0-0. That's how you build that winning culture.
And you just said, you know, sometimes you got to play the long game. So this is, in essence, practicing for the future, rehearsing for the future. So you know what, if we're in a situation like this later on, it's a close game, we got to call that timeout.
You got to keep putting yourselves in those situations, so it's going to be not new to you when you have to come up and the stakes are just a little bit higher, right? You want to get to that American champion. You want to be American champions for sure.
2nd and 20, setting up the screen. Bowden, we've got a flag in the backfield again as Bowden runs out of bounds. It's 15 yards, but it's going to be coming back again.
Holding, offense, number 75, penalties half the distance to the goal, 2nd down.
Well, I've seen all kind of different emoji signs in the crowd. That coach right there, Coach Rossimondo, he had me fired up when we talked to him. I'm telling you, that's an old school ball coach right there, that he gets it, man. And the record speaks for himself, right? I mean, that what he's done, the culture coming in, changing how they view their program. You got a high praise from me, man. I'm a big fan of Coach Rossimondo.
Kept, now a fumble in the end zone. Recovered by North Texas for a touchdown. Ethan Weslowski.
He's been here a long time, and he's been consistent year in and year out, making a huge play there. Not only the tackle, the strip, but also recovering in the end zone. This play never really had a chance to begin with. And I said earlier, this defense needed to get better in terms of takeaways from a year ago. They only had 16 on the year. Team as a team -6 overall. So far, so good for the Mean Green takeaway on defense.
On Guma, another extra point. 37 points put up by the Mean Green. How about that? That's just padding the stats. Tackle for a loss, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown, all on one play.
All on one play. Yeah, he gets the I was looking for the Stone Cold celebration. I guess they were getting ready to do that. I didn't see that, but he gets whatever they're given during the end of the week. Great individual performance and to a great kid, too. That kid has been through a lot. He's been so consistent, just tough as nails, back there playing linebacker, and good for him.
There's his quarterback, Drew Mestemaker, coming over, saying some stuff to him, and he's punching him in the chest. You can tell they're having fun right now.
And that's the good thing about these types of games, man. You've worked all off season. You've been hitting each other, beating each other up during the summer in the camps. And you get to hit another color type jersey and you execute the game plan.
Went for a squib kick. That was a dangerous play right there. Recovered at the 42 for Lamar. .24 seconds to go in this first half, and right now this Lamar team's got to be thinking, how do we get into the locker room without any more points being put up against us?
Yeah, I think you got to probably cut your losses here, probably take a knee. I think that might be the smart thing to do, and I almost was about to say that before the fumble, strip fumble and TD recovery.
They do have 2 timeouts. Are you trying to get yourself in a field goal position? Good starting field position. And Coleman just has to throw this one away.
This defensive line of North Texas has been very active. You talked about at the beginning of the broadcast how they can rotate 10, 12 guys. I think you're seeing that, right? I think you're seeing this defensive line, whoever's on that front, they got fresh legs. They've got good wind. And so you're going up against an offensive line that has played every single play tonight. And right now you're seeing the benefit of that, getting back there, wreaking havoc on the quarterback.
Pressure coming again, another sack. A tandem sack this time. Zaylen Scott, one of the guys to get there. And that will do it for this first half. Kevion Huddleston, combo for that sack as we go down to Maria.
Coach, you told us just how good you believe Drew Mestemaker could be. How has he met your expectations in this first half?
He's a good player, super accurate. So excited to keep seeing what he can do for us. So we probably won't keep him in long. If we can get a score coming out at halftime, we'll probably get Reese in there a little bit.
Your defense has also been incredible in this first half, not allowing a point. What have you liked the most from them?
Yeah, just their intensity, their sideline demeanor right now. Even though they get stops, they're over there and they're talking about what they're doing. Their communication's elite. The 2 turnovers were huge for us at the end.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Guys.
All right, thanks, Maria. You heard it right there. Maybe one more series for Mestemaker in the second half. Then we'll see Reese Poffenbarger. But an impressive first half. 37-0. The Mean Green leading Lamar. Here at DACU Stadium, 37-0. North Texas leading Lamar at the half. Let's get you back to the American studios for the top plays in the American.
Welcome into Studio A. I'm Maria Tribalpiece. Another week and another fall sport begins. Men's soccer has entered the chat, and with it, it's brought some top plays. We'll begin with the Bulls of South Florida. They're trailing Lipscomb 1-0. Looks like this ball is going to be cleared, but Nicholas Pietranantino says nope, lasers that ball in the back of the net. For play number 4, we have some women's soccer for you now. UTSA's Brooklyn Bailey. You'll see her soon in this clip in front of the net. She gets the ball and heads it into the goal for the Roadrunners. As we saw in the last clip, great goals are set up with great passes. Here's Florida Atlantic's Eli Conway gets a great pass to score a great goal. Our number 2 play shows off some Tiger creativity. Memphis women's soccer, they have a ton of players on that back post. One of them is Talia Brooks. She finds the back of the net with a pretty kick. I must warn you, in these next few clips, you are not seeing deja vu. This is Missouri State's Fumi Shiraishi. Scores 1 goal, and then he says, you know what, I think I'm going to do it again. Finds the back of the net for the Bears. He's not done yet, though. How about a hat trick for Fumi? But you see that title says 4 for Fumi? Well, because he had 4 goals in this game. Here's that last one. Oh my goodness, Missouri State wins this one 4-1. If you see a top play this week, make sure you use the hashtag American Top Plays on social. Now, let's get you back out to some more action.
Big-time entertainment, the North Texas band here at DATQ Stadium on this opening week of college football. Impressive first half from North Texas, leading Lamar 37-0. When we come back, we'll have first half highlights and stats from right here in Denton, Texas. Downtown Denton, Texas, 37-0. North Texas, the Mean Green, they have been mean so far against Lamar, pitching a shutout. Justin Kutcher alongside LaDarren McClain. LaDarren, you played quarterback here at this school, 4-year starter. They've had some good quarterbacks come through. We said there should be some optimism surrounding this team. I don't know if we thought there should be this much optimism, but Drew Mestamaker, wow.
Making it look easy. And this game is not easy, and especially playing quarterback, the decision-making, we talked about how he's throwing off platform, making those hard throws look very, very easy. I think you got to be excited if you're a Mean Green fan because you got the main position on the team solidified by all means.
Yeah, let's take a look at the first half highlights and really show why you should be excited.
Well, this right here is just a good throw because the receiver's wide open, but at the same time, he put it on the money And then right here, the athleticism off the read option, getting into the end zone, showing you once again the versatility that he has at the quarterback position. And this right here is just power running. And this is what the Mean Green want to typically hang their hat on, is being physical up front with their running backs. And here it is again. You've got this depth of 3, 4, 5 deep running back room that these guys all are physical. This might be the best throw tonight to me. To throw off platform, to see Wyatt Young at the corner of his eye, and then flick it in there. And here's another one as well, across the middle of the field, getting into the end zone. This offense is surgical and very lethal.
But the biggest change for this team, everybody expects, is on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, we really didn't know what to expect. We've heard so much about it, and they've come out here, and you could not have asked for a better debut with this new offense under Coach Cassidy. And the way they are flying around, the way they are mixing up their coverages, and then platooning the defensive linemen, wave after wave, getting back there. And then now you've got the takeaway here by Fields. And so this defense looks as advertised, and I'm sure the Mean Green faithfuls have to feel very, very excited about this opening first half for sure.
A couple of takeaways, one an interception, one a fumble return for a touchdown. So the stats, when it's 37-0, you're going to think that the stats will show it, and guess what they do?
Yeah, they show it very well. And I think the rushing stats, I think they want to certainly get that up for the Mean Green for sure. But that 257 yards passing, that made it look easy. Mean Green offense doing well, defense right there too.
Lamar will receive the kick when we come back. watching The American on ESPN. And the Mean Green, in their third year in the American Conference, they are getting off to a fantastic start, leading 37-0. All elements of the game right now where they want it to be.
Yeah, 100%. This is, I don't think you could have scripted any better to come out, from summer camp, first game of the season. You had some question marks, a few question marks. I think they were solidified today.
Xavier Coleman from the 5 takes it out to the 16 as we say hello once again to Maria Tribalpiece.
Well, I was able to catch up with Lamar's coach, Rosamondo, at halftime, and I asked him, how do you stop Drew Mestemaker? And he said, it really just comes down to that we're out of position too much. We need to do a better job in coverage. I asked him also how he's going to get his offense going, and he said he thinks that it's just first game jitters and nerves. We're making way too many mental mistakes that we need to clean up in the second half.
All right, thank you very much, Maria. And you see what Coach Rosamondo has done, leading this team to back-to-back winning seasons. First time since the 1960s. Prior to him taking over, they had won one game. So this guy comes in and turns things around right away. Robert Coleman on first down, gets the pass off, but the tight end Devin Gibbs has nowhere to go because the defense is right there. That's Davion Armstead, another one of those transfers from Sam Houston.
The physicality not only extends to the defensive line and the linebackers, but these old Bearcats coming in now wearing mean green uniforms on the outside can lay the hat too, and that's a good tackle in the open field on a bigger offensive player. That's that same play that they certainly started the game with, getting the tight end out in the flat. You can see the adjustment quickly.
Handoff, nowhere to go, because there's another guy up front making the stop, and that's Richard Outland Jr., another Sam Houston transfer. It's pretty incredible, Maria, how many guys came over here to North Texas from Sam Houston.
Well, Skylar Cassidy said that it has been such a huge help for him and his coaching staff because it basically makes other coaches and player coaches in every single room. There's guys who know the system, who have that consistency, who can then help other players. If other guys aren't as comfortable coming to coach and saying, hey, I don't know what's going on, they can go to their teammate and they can help them along, and it's helped make this defense good in the early days.
This certainly the early days. 3rd and 15. The pass dropped by the tight end Morgan Sampson.
Yeah, there's another example, Justin, of, hey, you've done everything right to a certain point. Got to make that catch. And, again, Coleman, I think he's seeing the field pretty well. I mean, I don't think it's moving too fast for him. Just needs some help now. And that's a catch that you'd like to see there, made. It's wide open in the open field. And when you don't do that, now you got to punt the ball back over to this red-hot mean green offense.
Mason Stallings from Frisco, Texas, not too far away. And the punt is fielded by Coleman, gets hit right away, stays on his feet, and then he finally goes down.
That's how you become a very popular player on your team. That's how you are a fan favorite, and that's why all the team or your teammates are going to be rallying for you. You catch that ball and take that kind of punishment, keep going. Yeah.
Tough young man. Drew Mestemaker, we heard from Eric Morris, maybe one more drive, and then his night will be done. His night has been awesome.
Yeah, ball barely touched the ground. That's like throwing on 7-on-7 during practice.
Here on first down, the handoff is to Sibley. Sibley still on his feet. He's down the sideline. There goes Sibley, finally running out of bounds right around the 22-yard line. A pickup of 31.
Yeah, talking to Coach Davis, the offensive coordinator, he said he's just one guy that can do it all. And I think you can almost say that for every running back in the backfield. They seemingly can run out of the backfield. They can catch passes. They're good at protection, and they just have that good football instinct. Nice run there by Sibley.
They give it to Sibley again. Another strong run by Kiefer Sibley. Sophomore out of Waco, Texas, picks up 4.
Yeah, this offensive line starting to lick their chops, because you're going to get to the point of the game where they're just going to say, hey, fire off and beat the guy in front of you, Justin, and let some of our running backs run a little bit more. They only had 43 yards rushed in the first half. You think the way they were moving the ball offensively, they'd have more than that, but the way they were effective in the passing game, they didn't really need to run.
Pass complete, and that one's to Terrence Lewis, and now a flag, a late hit. Lewis gets 14. You're going to tack on a couple more here.
Now, we'll give credit to the defensive back. He may have thought he didn't step out, but you got to listen for the whistle also at the end of that play.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 6. Penalties half the distance to the goal. It's first down.
Yeah, here it is. Estimaker, that's a routine throw, not an easy pass for sure. And
yeah, Ronnie Hamrick came in unnecessarily with that hit.
yeah, at that moment in time, you do hear the whistle at that moment in time. You got to pull up.
First and goal from the 2. Do they give it to Sibley? Hang on.
Are they going to review that?
Could be targeting.
Yeah.
Previous play is under further review for a possible targeting.
Yeah, when I saw that end zone look at ground level, yeah, it was towards the head neck area, right? And you know, we have officials at every game, and if they see something, they're going to stop play and let the crew on the field know about it and take a look.
Jeff Roberson, the replay official. Let's take a look right here. What do you see?
Yeah, watch this. At the end of the play, you're going to see Hamrick come in right there. Now, that to me was face mask to face mask, but it's still a shot to a defenseless player to the head area. Now, that look there looks like the top of the chest. But if you go back from this angle here, still unnecessary at the end of the day, but is it enough for the player to possibly get ejected? I don't think so, as far as targeting.
Okay. That was going to be my next question, was where do you stand on this? Because the penalty is so severe. It's the rest of this game. It'll be the first half of the next game. It has to be obvious, at least to me, in my opinion, to say, like, all right, that's targeted.
Yeah, I think there has to be some malicious intent involved, and you can almost say that on every play, but you can tell the difference if a player is really trying to go in there and do something just real crazy. I honestly thought when I first saw the play live action, I think Hamrick just saw him struggling, saw him fighting, and wanted to come in and just make sure he knocked him down. Now, it just so happened to be that it was in the head and neck area of the receiver. But I agree, it is severe. You know, maybe you get ejected out of the current game, but I don't think it should have any bearing in the next game.
You know, we're going to have the ruling here.
Review, there is no foul for targeting on the play. First down, North Texas.
I applaud this officiating crew for not giving a targeting on that play. And the reason why is I don't mind the penalty being the rest of this game and the next game if you do it in the second half. But if you're going to review it, my thing is it has to be obvious for you to say it's targeting. And based on those angles, it didn't seem to be obvious.
Now, if we're still having to guess and try to create scenarios, yeah, I 100% agree with that.
First and goal from the 2. Sibley. And he's going to be stopped at the 1.
Yeah, they like that formation. When they get down inside the 5-yard line, or we'll just say inside the 10, they like to go to that full house backfield. It's an old school formation with the new school type of twist. The quarterback's in the shotgun. There you go again. You got 3 potential, well, 4, I should say, Mestamakers eligible runner 2.
Again, Sibley, and this time he punches it in. He had the big run, and now they fire the cannon. They fired the cannon before kickoff. I almost fell out of the booth.
Kind of jolted me too.
I was not expecting that.
This is what they want to do. This is their identity at the end of the day. They want to be physical at the point of contact. The line of scrimmage, good camera shot here. You can just see all the bodies, the mangled bodies and scrum down there around the goal line. Such a luxury to have when you've got an offensive line. When you get down there around the goal line, you don't have to mess around. You don't have to get too fancy. You just hand it off 6-7 yards deep, and you run it back and get it in.
Anguma once again on for the extra point. The only mistake tonight was after the first touchdown. They went for two and they failed on a 2-point conversion. Besides that, it's 44-0. Kiefer Sibley did the bulk of the work on that last drive, and he gets the touchdown run. 44-0. The Mean Green pouring it on against Lamar.
You know, Justin, these running backs are not very big. You know, McGill might be one of the bigger ones. He's 5'11", 202 pounds, but man, they run tough, and they just do the little things, the dirty work well.
5 different players have scored a touchdown tonight.
That's what they're predicated on, right? Spreading the wealth, getting multiple skill players involved. Yeah, we talked about this defense of the Mean Green. It's been fun to watch. A new scheme that they've kind of picked up on the fly. I think they've done a great job so far tonight.
By the way, add one more because the fumble recovery in the end zone for the touchdown for defense.
Yeah.
Here on first down, Major Bowden will get 4 yards. 2nd and 6. All right, so take me into the mind of Pete Rosamondo right now, and you're down 44-0. What is your goal here in the second half?
Well, when you're trying to build a program and you come on the road and you play a high-powered offense, and you know, you probably don't understand or know what the defense is going to be like, but you knew the offense of Mean Green was going to be high-powered. You get down 44-0. You're going to find out who really wants to play, first and foremost. But now you have to use this as coaching moments. We still have to go execute because we still have the rest of our season to play. And that's what you're going to be looking for, effort and execution from here on out.
That pass was high over the middle, intended for Isaiah Jones.
Because you still want to be able to go into the next week and have some things to correct, right? You correct things even in a win. But even in a loss, you seem to get their attention just a little bit more, get a little bit of that humble pie, and you kind of lock in just a little bit better. Like I said, they're not far off, you know, and their next game is going to be South Dakota. That's going to be September 6th, next Saturday. And so South Dakota today was pretty feisty against Iowa State, so that's not going to be an easy battle by any means.
This pass incomplete for Jaden Girard. And it's a quick 3 and out here for the offense for Lamar.
Yeah, I've always said that you can always try to simulate things in practice the best you can. There's no substitute for the real lights.
It's
and
like
the
you want a
speed of
golf
the game.
simulator, you know?
No, that's what I'm saying. Golf simulator, you can't. The wind, the elements, the nerves you get on that first tee, you just.
The
it's
lie's
the same
always
thing.
perfect. You know, it's flat.
You know, and it's the same thing here in this game. Right? You can do all the things that you can anticipate. These are young men. They think just like anybody else. They're human beings. They have emotions. They have nerves. They have jitters. They have all those things. And you just got to find a way, grit your teeth, and lock in.
Out of bounds at the 38. So great starting field position. And we're likely to see Reese Poffenbarger, the backup quarterback here for North Texas, taking his first snaps as a member of the Mean Green. Third quarter, 10-17 to go, 44-0 North Texas leading Lamar. We've seen a great night by Drew Mestamaker. And Mestemaker is going to go back out there. We thought we were going to see Reese Poffenbarger. We're still likely to see Poffenbarger, but Eric Morse wants to see a bit more here of Mestemaker.
I don't know much more I would want to see. I think it's done and dusted.
Handoff here to Mackenzie McGill. Picks up 4.
Well, you know, I say that tongue in cheek. We talked about practice, right? You get your offensive unit. They're probably playing the kind of the equivalent to maybe a quarter and a half in practice, right? So, yeah, you probably need to get these reps. You want to see some stuff on tape so you can coach.
Beautiful pass right there for Cameron Dorner, just placed perfectly by Mestemaker.
That's just outstanding. That's a big time throw, because you got to throw it on time, but you got to place it to where your guy can only make that play. And I don't even know if you even call it a back shoulder fade. That was just on the money. It was just there to where Dorner can go up and make the play. The defensive back never really had a chance.
We just saw a touch pass, and now you see the pass with zip as the helmet comes off of Dalton Carnes. Picks up 6. That's what's impressive to me, is the fact that you've seen him throw the fastball.
Yeah.
And that last one, it was almost like he placed the changeup.
And it had a little bit of velocity still, but at the same time, it was just like he dropped it, you know, right there for Dorner to catch it. And he's got it all. You know, it's kind of like a pitcher that's got a couple of little things in his bag a little bit. He can throw 3 or 4 pitches.
There's another one over the middle. It's Young staying on his feet into the end zone. 32 yards, touchdown.
That's outstanding. It's such a luxury to have a quarterback that, one, knows where he's going with the football, but has the physical tools and the ability to put it there. That's not an easy throw. That 15, 17-yard in-cut route is not a very easy throw to make. And watch it here, Justin. He sets his feet and throws an absolute strike to where his guy can catch it and still make a move. And every single receiver tonight has shown you that once they catch it in open space, they're a threat to take it home. And right there, White Young did exactly that.
Mestemaker, 24 of 32, 329 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions in his first regular season start as a redshirt freshman.
Defense, number 0.
As a quarterback yourself, what he's doing, try to put it into perspective how difficult it is.
Well, I was here when Mason Fine was the quarterback standard. You can go back even further. Mitch Mayer, people around here would probably appreciate you saying that. But Mason Fine was the standard, and I watched him play through his freshman all the way up to his senior year, and I didn't think it would be anybody better. But this kid today, I'm telling you, I've seen Chandler Rogers, I've seen Chandler Morris come through here. There's just something about this kid that the moment is not too big, and the coach did say that, right? He looks like he's ahead, 2 steps ahead of what the offense is doing, right? And it's like having that extra offensive coordinator on the field, and he's getting the offense into the best play. You combine that with his physical gifts and his smart. I mean, he's just smart to begin with. You got an elite thrower, and I'm not saying that just hyperbole, but he's an elite thrower.
McDowell, I believe, called for the fair catch. For more on the American, you can watch the American on ESPN Plus, home to 40+ college football games, over 1,000 exclusive live events, and every American Conference championship throughout the season. For more information and to sign up, visit stream.espn.com. So here comes Robert Coleman once again. And what's crazy is Robert Coleman, we talked about him being the 3rd-year starter for Lamar, and how rare that is. I think what we're seeing from Mestemaker tonight is even more rare.
Yeah, I mean, it's You kind of expect quarterback play, maybe game 5, maybe game 6. Definitely towards the end of the year, you want to see quarterbacks. It clicks, right? It clicked from the first snap tonight with Mesterbake.
Yeah.
I mean, he just took off, and I said it earlier in the game. It was like he had been here for 4 years. It's the hardest position in any sport to me to play. Is to play quarterback at this level of football. I can only imagine what it is like in the NFL, but I'm telling you, the way he's doing things is not normal. He makes it look awfully, awfully easy.
Coleman backpedaling, dumps it off. Here's Bowden. And we've got a flag thrown as Bowden gets 7.
But I'll tell you what, man, Lamar, you got to keep an eye on them in the Southland Conference. They are going to be a force. And this is not really any kind of depiction of what their team is like. I think they've got some great mix of players, experience.
Offense, number 13, 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
North Texas just happened to be hot tonight, and it's a good football team that they're to play against. And that American Conference is going to be interesting, too. You know, I'll get a look at UTSA next week. They're going to play that their rivalry game against Texas State, so I'll get to see the Birds next week, Justin. So it's going to be interesting down the way for the American Conference and football down the season, because there's going to be a lot of great teams for sure.
Well, it's now second down and 9. Coleman stepping up, throwing on the run, completes the pass to Fusilier. Fusilier just, I believe, the second time we've called his name tonight as he gets 17 yards.
Yeah, they just never really found a way to get him involved. And, you know, you ask me what would Coach Rossamondo want from his team? This right here, to compete. Yes, you don't even worry about that score. You can't do nothing about that. You go out there and compete to the very last whistle.
Quick pass. Look at that open field tackle. Patrick Smith-Young able to wrap up Major Bowden right away at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, this is great safety play here. He recognizes that he's got a free release running back to the flat. That's his guy. He's got to go there and make the play, and there's no doubt about the tackle. I'm impressed. The defense learning a new scheme. Terminology may not all be that different, but at the same time, you're learning different concepts and being in position, and you got a mix of new players. It's been fun to watch.
Pressure coming. Another sack, and it's Weslowski again, first to make the contact. And Huddleston joins in.
Yeah, here we go again. We talked about new players. Well, here's an old player that's been around here for a little while. Weslowski here.
Maria, this defense, it's been impressive, pitching a shutout.
Especially Ethan Weslowski. And when I caught up with him pregame, he told me that one of the reasons he plays so well is because his mom has been pretty hard on him his entire football career, guys. Before every game, she sends him a text message. It's 2 words. It says, "Don't suck." She said, as long as you don't suck, you're going to be fine in every game. So that's his motivation when he steps on the field.
You know what's really weird? LaDarren said the same exact thing to me we went on the air tonight.
Man. I'm the heavy baggage around here, man. I can only live vicariously through your career partner. It's a highlight for me.
I love it.
Yeah, those moms are tough. My mom was tough too.
Yeah.
She, you know, hey, don't throw it to the other team. You know, let's start with that. And don't fumble. That's what she said.
So I want to know, as we got some guys scuffling here. All right, the officials get in the way. Hopefully no flags, everything's all right. I want to know after a game where it wasn't your best and you talked to your mom.
Yeah.
Was she saying, "It's okay, LD," or what were you thinking on that?
Yeah, there's more of that. Like, you know better than that. It was like I was a little boy again. You know, I throw a couple picks in the game, and come on, LaDarren, you know better than that. That's how my mom was. It was tough, man. And my poor dad, he's just sitting there shaking his head, you know.
Punt taken on the run.
Golly, these guys.
That was Simeon Evans on the punt return. 51-0. That's the score here. 4:40 to go in the third. Last year in the bowl game against Texas State, it was Drew Mestemaker making his first start since his freshman year in high school for the JV B team. And all he did was go 26 of 41, 393 yards, 2 touchdowns, also ran 70 yards for a touchdown. His night is done. Reese Poffenbarger is in, and he's running on his first play. He picks up 11. You think his night was any good?
I would say so. And, you know, like I mentioned before, the ball barely touched the ground. And he never really was under duress. So you got to give kudos to this offensive line to protect. At the beginning of the game, the Cardinals tried to bring some pressure, just trying to get him off balance. But that didn't work. And then they played coverage. And he had time. He just picked him apart. So what a fantastic opening night of the season for Drew Mestemaker.
We got a chance to speak with Eric Morris and Jordan Davis, the offensive coordinator. And we asked, how much do you put on Mestemaker? Like, does he have the chance to check down? Does he have? They said, whatever he wants to do. We've got a play call. He could see something else and go with it. And they said he always seems to make the right call. And it just made me think, for someone who hasn't played the quarterback position, to be able to do that, it's almost like he's an idiot savant.
Yeah.
Because you said it's so hard to see all this stuff, and he sees it.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And, you know, unless you're like 6'8", 6'9", you can see over everybody. Yeah, that's one thing. But he's 6'4", so it's relatively tall, good size. But, man, it happens so fast. It is a bunch of cars in front of you having wrecks, and you've got to decipher. And you've got to go through your progressions against a defense and still get the ball out on time. It's not easy, but he is making it look easy. Even more importantly, every coach to a man said smart. He's smart. He's smart. And you're seeing that, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, Maria, they could not sing his praises enough. I couldn't wait to see him tonight, and he's lived up to the hype, if not even more.
Well, all the coaches talked about his confidence, and I asked Drew, how were you able to remain confident when people weren't playing you? And he said, my whole career has been me shaking it off and bouncing back. I have a dream of playing in the NFL, and I wasn't going to let unbelief of others stop me from that.
It's really pretty impressive. Here in Texas, people will know the name C.J. Nitkowski, and he was the analyst for the Texas Rangers. I was just speaking with C.J. this past week, and he said he was throwing like low 80s. Then he got transferred to St. John's, and next thing you know, he's throwing 90. He's at 94, and he goes, I was so ignorant that I just thought, why won't I make it in the big leagues? Yeah. And he became a first-round pick, and he had that confidence in himself, but it was the ignorance to not know any better. Yep. And I wonder if that's the case here with Drew.
I think you're right on with that. There is definitely something to that, because sometimes playing any sport, you get paralysis by analysis, and you overthink it, and you sabotage your God-given ability a lot of times. I think I'm a victim to that as well. And, you know, again, some people have that knack of just not knowing any better, just going out there and just taking it for what it is, which is incredible in itself.
And I'm sure people are like, all right, guys, it's one game. It's against an FCS school. Like, let's pump the brakes. I get all that.
Yeah.
I get all that. I want to see what he does from here on out. But what he's shown tonight has been impressive.
I will say something to that effect, too. Those guys at Lamar on scholarship, they're playing for a lot, too. And yeah, I just think that it's tough to complete passes sometime against air. I'm serious. I mean, if you're 7-on-7, you could drop passes easily with nobody guarding you. And so for him to just make the right play time after time in this first game and being an old football player is impressive to me. And I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir, all the football heads, all the old quarterbacks that I know and come fond with over the years, they would probably agree.
That air is a really tough defense.
Yeah.
Second down and 5. Coleman. He's going to try to run for the first down, and he will get it. Gets out of bounds.
I really thought they would utilize Coleman's legs a little bit more. Get him out of the pocket a little bit. Move the pocket a little bit. He was a little kind of a sitting duck at times in the passing game, and that played right into the teeth of this defensive front. He's very athletic. Get him on the perimeter. Let him just make a couple of looks here and there, and if it's not open, just like he did there, take off and run and get what you can get.
Quick pass through the hands of Fusilier. He saw the defense coming.
Yeah, and that's the one he's got to catch. That pass is not always going to be perfect. Yeah, Fusilier, they're going to go back and look at this tape and say, how can we get one involved, whether it's, you know, screen pass and end around. You know, maybe we come around, hand it off to him, throw, you know, a hitch route, get him on slants, whatever we got to do. You got to get number one involved for this offense to reach its full potential.
It's kept by Coleman. He gets tripped up across the 25.
Yeah, that's a nice little wrinkle right there. Ryan McCarthy digging deep.
That should be the final play of this third quarter. And Coleman, he's going to let the clock run out. We'll head to the fourth. North Texas trying to pitch a shutout here in week 1, leading 51-0 as we head to the fourth quarter. North Texas, Denton, just outside of Dallas. 51-0. The Mean Green balling out here in week 1. Coleman drops back to pass. The pass is complete, but tackled right away by B.J. Allen Jr., and that's going to be really close. They're going to give him a first down.
Yeah, good throw there. Good route. Now, we talked about Messermaker and his decision-making. I think Coleman's decision-making is very good, too. I think there hasn't been many places that, yeah, you probably wanted to have that throw back. He hasn't really put the ball in too much danger. Obviously, the interception in the first half was just he didn't see the guy. But other than that, I think Coleman's upside, again, a 3-year starter, he's going to make this offense hum as they get deeper and deeper into certainly the Southland Conference play.
Thinking about what is next, as you mentioned, they'll be home against South Dakota. For North Texas, they're on the road at Western Michigan. That's a good test for them.
I think that's a good road test going to Kalamazoo. And so you just never know, right? Some of these young guys that feel good, they've been practicing on this field for a long time. We'll see how they act when they have to travel a little bit. That's not a hop, skip, and a jump travel. You got to go upstate. You got to go to Michigan, right? And so we'll find out real quick if they can duplicate what they've done here this evening.
And then back home against Washington State, a school that head coach Eric Morris is very familiar with.
Yeah, that's looking at the Pac-12. I mean, that's
Tupac.
Yeah, Tupac. There you go. I like that. I'm about to borrow that from you.
Delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
One delay of game is bad. When you have multiple, sometimes you're just like, what's going on? How come we're not getting ourselves into this play?
That look says it all right there. With Rosmondo, you know, it is very, very frustrating as a coach for sure.
This pass hauled in by Devin Gibbs. Gets 6 yards back to the 35-yard line.
Good open field tackle once again. Mean Green have done a great job of that. A ball carrier, receiver getting out in space. There is no yards after the catch. They're going straight down.
Simeon Evans back to receive the punt.
Wyatt Young jumping on here right at the last minute.
And this is going to go out of bounds around the 28-yard line. All right, they'll mark it out at the 30. My rangefinder was off.
You need to get it off meters.
Yeah, exactly. It kills me. So Reese Poffenbarger, transfer from Miami. It was expected that he would be the starting quarterback. But then Messermaker went out in camp and just flat out won the job. Won the job and won the locker room.
Yeah. And that's how you kind of want it to have happen. You want competition at every single position, and why not the most important position on the field?
Poffenbarger keeps it. For more on him, let's check in with Maria.
Reese Poffenbarger has been incredibly vocal this entire game, guys. Even though he's just entering the game right now, he's been the one that's been picking his teammates up. There was even an instance where Trey Williams missed a pass. He was the first one to get to him and help with his leadership. So he's been leading off the field even though he hasn't been in the game.
Maria, I got to ask, has there been much need to pick anybody up? They're leading 51-0.
There was that that one instance. He's just been super vocal, but it was one in particular. It wasn't 51-0 at the point, but he has been a great leader off the field, which is what you want from your backup quarterback, somebody who's still involved in the game, even when they're not playing.
I'm right there with you, Maria. Well said. Well said. I agree with you there.
And also to add to it, when you have the guy who thought he was coming here to North Texas to be the starter and doesn't win that position, he could create a very uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, it's a true meritocracy. I got that from old coaches back in the day. You got to earn it around here, right?
That, yep.
You know, you got to earn it. No, nothing is truly given, and that builds a winning culture. And you know, that spreads out to the other positions on the team. Hey, we're going to compete. We're going to put the best guys up there, and so far so good.
Scrambling right now, and he's going to get the first down, showing off some nice moves.
Well, I will say this, both these quarterbacks very athletic. And, yeah, I'm sure that competition was probably fierce in its own right regard. But, you know, you can see some of the things that what Drew Mestemaker, you can see some of the intangible he has now. Poffenbarger here, we'll probably see a lot of him now. One thing for sure, he's tough. He can run with the ball. We just need to see if he can turn it loose one or two times here.
Stepping up again. On the run, throws across his body, incomplete. That was Chris Lewis. As we go deeper into the depth chart.
Yeah, nice job there by the Cardinals defense, kind of changing it up. Looked like they were starting out in a zone look. They flipped to a man coverage over the top. Have the linebackers kind of chasing underneath. Here comes some heat off the edge down here at the bottom.
Handoff up the middle. And Sibley, he'll get 5. As you can see, Lamar, the players trying to pile on. I beg your pardon, that was Caleb Hawkins on the carry.
Yeah, that's a good job there by Poffenbarger to get him in a good play. He recognized the defense kind of doing some jousting there. You see that safety kind of stack over the top of the inside defensive back. You know one of them is coming. And it looked like Poffenbarger there put him in a good play to get him a manageable third down here.
A handoff to Hawkins. And he lowers that shoulder and he gets the first down as he takes it up to the 38, gets 8 more yards.
Yeah, it's been a long time around here since you can look at the Mean Green's offense and say they can go 5 deep at the running back position. Now, they've had some fantastic running backs throughout the years come through. Everybody remembers Jamario Thomas. You look back, I played with Jaquay Wilburn, and arguably one of the better running backs. He probably is the best one to ever come through here, is coaching on the sideline. I think we all know who he is right there. So
keeping it on the ground. And this is for a couple reasons. One, try to run out the clock, right? You keep the ball on the ground, keep the clock running. You're up 51-0. You're not trying to pour it on at this point against Lamar.
I think both teams have their reserve players in right now, and this is valuable time. You know, I remember coming in as a freshman before I got a chance to actually start some games. You know, getting into some games that might have been lopsided one way or the other was pretty important because you wanted to test yourself. You know, you wanted to get that game speed and knock the dust off.
Fumble right here. A fumble on the exchange, recovered by Lamar. The first turnover of the night for the Mean Green.
Yeah, and that's just Poffenbarger. Looked like he should have probably given it He probably should have handed it off, but at the same time, good fumble recovery there by the Lamar Cardinals.
Just about 8.5 to go here in this fourth quarter. Lamar still looking for its first points of the night. Could it come off the turnover? Taken over at their own 45-yard line. It's the best field position all night for Lamar, and it's getting better as that pass to Fusilier takes them into mean green territory for the first time as he gets 15. Now the handoff to Moore, and he'll get 2.
Yeah, now it's this little game within the game. As an offense, you want to get something to show. You know, you want to punch this thing in the end zone if you can.
Another handoff, and nothing on that one.
We talked about how this offensive line, you know, probably the strength of the team in terms of depth. You know, for the Lamar Cardinals, you know, last year they were second in the Southland Conference in rushing yards per game, 180. Total offense, they weren't bad either. They were 4th in the Southland Conference. Really good on third down a year ago, so they've got some upside of a lot of those players that played a year ago coming in this year. But it's got to start with the guys up front.
3rd and 8. Out of the pocket, Coleman. He just throws this one away before he gets taken down. And that was the right play made right there. Shane Witter. There is a flag on the far side of the field.
I mean, Shane Witter looked like he got shot out of a cannon.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 18, was covered up and went downfield on a forward pass. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Obviously, in this situation, 4th and 8, you're down, you're going for it.
Ooh, Witter. He comes out of nowhere, puts a hit on the quarterback. You don't want to take those late in the game.
Transfer out of Oklahoma.
This team is deep. This defense is deep. You're talking about the defensive front. They've got some guys at linebacker that can run. They are thin overall, the coaches say, but they've got some guys that can make some plays for sure.
Coleman over the middle, incomplete. No flags. The pass intended for Devin Gibbs.
Yeah, tough throw, though. That's a tough throw.
A turnover on downs here in the fourth. 7:05 left. North Texas leading by a lot. First down. That was Ashton Gray, the fifth running back for the Mean Green.
Well, there we go. We finally got to that fifth one. We have been talking about it, teasing it all game. And Ashton Gray is now in there. And, you know, you got a good room of running backs. You got to be coached by a great one. I was kind of alluding to Patrick Cobbs earlier. I think he was the best running back to come through. Abner Haynes, people might have something to say about that, but what a great leader to have there with that room and that talent for sure.
Gray unable to shake that tackle. Third down and 3, just trying to bleed the clock.
Yeah, this is the one time the Mean Green offense will not be any kind of hurry up or anything like that. They're going to milk the play clock down. Probably get it under 5-6 seconds if you can and snap it. Let's go.
And that's going to be a first down. Nice run by Gray. You know, it was really fun talking with Eric Morris yesterday. Eric Morris worked a lot under the late Mike Leach. And everyone thinks about Mike Leach being this offensive innovator. He said, I played 5 years for him. Never once did he add a new play or formation. Not once.
That's incredible. And you know, people call him the mad scientist, right? You think he would trick up something that we've never seen before? That just goes to show you it's all about blocking and tackling, right? You keep the basics and you just do what you do well.
And he said he was militant in his discipline. And you don't think of Mike Leach as being militant in anything, right? You think about all the answers he would give in the interviews. I mean, if you got a chance to talk to him and you asked him about Pirates, forget it. It was 30 minutes before you could get the next thing in.
Oh, man, that's some of the greatest stuff ever, too. But you can kind of see that, too. Coach Morris, he's a disciplinarian.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are out here. These guys are disciplined. There's no nonsense about what they're doing. I think there's some basic schemes and elements into what they're doing offensively, but they just do it well.
Ashton Gray knocked backwards a yard.
I've always been a big believer in any offense. If you can have your 4 set plays, right? You can have a couple run plays, have a couple pass plays, then have some variations off of those. That's how you expand a playbook, but the concepts and the basics are still the same. And when you can simplify an offense, now I can only imagine what that playbook looks like. I wouldn't even want to look at it, but these guys have picked this up well. Again, 68 newcomers on this offense. You've only had a short amount of time to pick up the offense, pick up the defense too in this case. That's great coaching, man. And these guys have picked it up well, and they look good.
There's a shot down the field. Should have been picked off, but it was dropped by Jordan James.
Wow, that's a really good route on the outside. Dalton Carnes. Boy, he does some movement here. He does the corner back to post route in the middle of the field. And that ball has a little bit more air on it. You got a chance. But he wasn't anticipating James to kind of peel off and be center field on that play.
Jaden Gerard back deep. Sawyer Evans on to punt. And we've got movement on the line. That's been against Wyatt Young.
False start. Kicking team, number 10, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Going back to those, those basically core plays. That was, I mean, what Chip Kelly did. That's how they could play so fast.
Right.
Is everyone thought there were all these different moves and whatnot, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. No, it. Yeah,
when you're watching the naked eye, you're going, oh my gosh, how are they doing this? Then you realize the simplicity, and you're like, that's genius. Bulldogs having some fun here at North Texas. 51-0. Justin Kutcher, Darren McLean, and Maria Tribalpiece as Lamar takes over at their own 20. And this is a new quarterback. Aiden McCown is in. Aiden McCown, the son of Josh McCown, as he gets 8 yards on first down.
Is there not a McCown that doesn't play quarterback?
It's like asking, is there a Manning that doesn't play quarterback?
I was going to say, if you got Manning, you're probably going to play quarterback.
McCown, he'll get 1 more yard. 3rd and 1 coming up. Josh had a pretty good career.
He did. Absolutely.
And then when you thought he was done, somebody kept on bringing him back.
Kept bringing him back, and he would always rise up and play.
Yes.
Right? He was a great backup quarterback. And if you needed him to come start 3 or 4 games, man, he was your guy. You know.
On 3rd and 1, the handoff up the middle. It'll be a first down.
I thought Luke McCown too was a good player. I thought Luke could go too.
We have come to the 2-minute timeout. The app. No matter where you go, you can find out. You can watch other games. And right now, it's Tigers, Clemson, and LSU. LSU leading that one 17-10 late in the 4th quarter.
I'll tell you what, man, I got to go back and think of a better opening weekend of college football. This has been fantastic this weekend.
I agree. I mean, just having the game today, Texas, Ohio State, to kick things off.
Yeah.
Now you've got LSU and Clemson. I I love it.
I love it. And at TCU, North Carolina tomorrow night, this is great. This is fantastic. This is what it is. And a lot of these Texas teams, I know these people around here, South, obviously at Beaumont, you know, keeping an eye on a lot of these Texas teams. A&M look like they're taking care of UTSA today.
McCown backpedaling. He's going to throw this one away. And a flag, late flag comes in.
That's always a legal man downfield. That quarterback holds the ball that long and then throws it late.
There is no foul for ineligible receiver downfield. The quarterback legally threw the ball out of bounds. Second down.
Okay.
First huddle that you got into.
Man, you're talking about nerves.
I'm in college as a freshman.
Yeah, my freshman year here at North Texas, we were on the road. McCown drawing back those strike there. We were on the road playing Vanderbilt. And that's in Knoxville and again Nashville. And so they've got one of the top-rated defenses. In fact, 7 of their guys on that defense, I didn't know it at the time, ended up getting drafted in the NFL.
Wow.
I'm the emergency quarterback. First string goes down. Second string goes down. McClain, get your helmet ready. I'm like, are you serious? I'm over there playing in water fights and everything like this. And I get in that huddle, man, and all these seniors looking at me to make a play and call it. Man, that was a surreal moment for sure.
Do you remember the play call?
Well, back in the day, I played for Coach Dickey, and so we would always do things sprint out pass, and we would call those 80s, and if we did drop back, we called them 70s, and so we called 73, and 3 routes were out routes.
Fourth down.
And sometimes, you know, if you're not reading the corners right, and he's sitting, and you throw that out route, that's a trouble.
Pick six.
Yeah, that's pick six. So, yeah, it was. I forget the formations we had, but I know the pass was 73.
That's awesome.
Long time ago there, Justin.
Still in bounds, finally going out is Simeon Evans with 1:28 left for this North Texas team. Again, we talked about they're at Western Michigan next week. Home against Washington State, at Army. Army suffered a loss today that was not expected, versus South Alabama, and then versus South Florida.
That South Florida game, they beat Boise State over this yesterday, and so that's going to be a tough game. But how about the Mean Green? The first time in school history they'll have 7 home games. That speaks volumes. This nice, big, pretty stadium. You know, you mentioned hosting, Washington State. That's a big university to come into Denton. We don't typically get that around here, and so that's pretty special for sure, and where the program is certainly headed.
Victory formation right now for North Texas.
Yeah, best formation in football, in my opinion. If you can get that victory formation at any time, in any game, that's always a good thing. That means you're on the best side of the score.
51-0. That's an impressive opening score as well. Every facet of the game. Again, I mean, the only mistake that was made was the first 2-point conversion that didn't work out.
Yeah, and I just think that was, they may have saw something and it just didn't work out. But yeah, I agree. That's the only thing I can think. I think penalties were at a minimum. Yeah, that was a good opening win. No matter who you play, and I know that's probably the pundits. They're going to say, oh, whatever. I think that's a quality program on that other sideline. I think they're going to be in the mix for the Southland Conference Championship this year, and so I think you got to take it, man, and not look back and not apologize by any means.
One more snap will do it. Or not. 51-0. Eric Morris and Pete Rosamondo shaking hands. And this is the first win as a starter for Drew Mestamaker. Could be the first of many in that young man's career.
Yeah, he's certainly on the right path. He is looks like he is ready to take on his 2025 season and lead the Mean Green for sure. And he's got the talent around him. Got a lot of skilled players.
All right, let's go downstairs to Maria right now.
Drew, this is your first win as a starting quarterback since 9th grade in high school. Through all the adversity, the being told no's, how are you able to get to this moment?
I think it's just believing in yourself. You know, you gotta have the confidence. If you're playing quarterback, you gotta have the confidence that you can go do the thing. So kind of just having confidence in myself and having my support system around me.
You certainly had confidence tonight, and you also have a lot of skill players around you who are incredible. What is it like having those guys to be able to throw to?
I mean, it's awesome having guys you can go out there and trust and just like put it out there for them and trust that they'll go make a play. It's awesome. I couldn't ask for a better skill group out there.
Your defense was also unstoppable tonight, the first shutout since 2003. How awesome is it for them to do that on their side of the ball, and how much easier does it make your job?
I mean, it's awesome. We've been, getting better against those guys for the past 6 months. So, just to see them go out there and perform like they did, it feels great, honestly. It feels great to have a defense like that on the other side of the ball.
Congrats on the first win, first of many.
Thank you.
Guys?
All right, thank you very much, Maria, and thank you to Drew. Drew getting that first win. Lived up to the hype, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's one thing to come in unknown, but to play with the expectations the way they were, the hype, first time you're really getting that clean look to being a starter, second time in this case, and he went above and beyond expectations in my opinion.
Last year, this team was 6-7, 3-5 in the American. They start this year 1-0. And again, next week they are at Western Michigan. The final stats, very lopsided, as you would expect. The defense gave up just over really 100 yards in total offense. That's remarkable.
Yeah, that's really good. A unit that is learning on the fly. They're getting the scheme down, and that's got to feel good defensively. Coach Cassidy doing a great job having his guys prepared. We knew this offense was going to be spectacular. We knew they were going to be all over the field with their skilled players, their offensive line coming back with their veteran leadership. And it's fun to watch. When they're clicking, they're good as anybody in the country. And looks like that trend looks to continue again this year. I know we're only one game in, but you kind of got to forecast that going out.
Yeah, and for this North Texas team, the question's never been about offense. It's been about defense. And can you improve the defense? And they went out. They got a new defensive coordinator. And in the first game, they pitched a shutout. For LaDarren McClain and Maria Travelpiece, I'm Justin Kutcher saying so long from DATQ Stadium in Denton, Texas, where tonight, North Texas defeated Lamar 51-0. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Week 1 college football in the books.